Hi, Easy Perry. Hi, 5TY6. She's my woman. Okay, we are live. Rick Hassani got that very well. Incredible Woman is the song you just listened to, and that's how we're getting started on Soul Sisters for this Wednesday, Workers' Day, 1st of May 2024. And as always, you know you're welcome. There is a seat here for you. It might be called Soul Sisters, but you are welcome even if you're a soul brother. For the next 55 minutes, we'll be discussing the topic of single motherhood, single parenting as a female in Nigeria. So, the topic of this discussion is the diary of a single mom in Nigeria, from the challenges, the hurdles she has to cross, those things that constitute a clog in the wheel of her progress, and those things that are holding her back, how she can raise a child to be whole, because some studies suggest that if a person comes from a home that is parented by just one adult, they might have more issues compared to a home where they have both parents. But is that really true? Is it applicable in all cases or not? And also how she can have a life, outside her children and more. If you have any questions, WhatsApp line is always open. If you'd like to stream live, we are live on YouTube. And if you'd like to send in your comments, 0809 444 0981. So you're welcome again and again. And if you're listening via your radio set, maybe you're driving, you've gone to look for fuel, and you want to step away from your radio set, you can stream live via the website www.smooth91.fm. That is the website you're searching for, or you simply search for Smooth 91 FM on any radio streaming app and website. My name is Oluwaseun, and Soul Sisters is the show for the ladies every Wednesday from 11 till 11:55 on Smooth 98.1. So getting right into it, I do have my guest. If you are on YouTube streaming with us, you would have seen her face. And if you have seen our flyer across our social media platforms, you would have seen her face as well. She is a trauma therapist, or a healing therapist, actually. I think she is in the path, or in the journey, or in the mission, or she has the vision to help people lift their burden and wade through life, those situations and circumstances that have held them bound and down for so long. So she just walks you through it. And she is certified in a lot of things, including neuro linguistic programming, anger management, family systems engineering, emotional intelligence, fear mastery, as well as core behavioral therapy. And I'm referring to the Chief Executive Officer of Lara Kudayisi International. So please welcome with me my guest, Lara Kudayisi Don-Momoh. Good morning.
Good morning, Yeah, Shil. I thought I almost missed your name. Good morning. Nice to be here again. I'm
Thank
so
you.
honored.
Thank you for
Welcome.
taking time out of your schedule and, out of your rest on Workers' Day to be here.
I know, but it's a very important topic that I'm very, very pertinent about. So I had to do this. I'm really,
Oh,
really interested in the topic.
maybe we should start with your interest in it. I mean, for someone who has no idea, okay, I want to assume that at the first time we had you as a guest, we talked about your journey and your story and what informed the things you do now. So maybe you can just do pockets of it and tell us your passion.
Oh, okay. So my story in a nutshell is that I healed from having a child at 19, 14 heartbreaks, 15 abortions, and a divorce, you know. And now I'm remarried. I have two kids. And so that brokenness, that story, you would know that naturally I'm a walking pain, or I was a walking pain at the time, and I was a single mom for 11 years, until I got married the first time, divorced. Then I was a single mom of two for about 5 years again. You understand, before I got married. So I have first-hand knowledge of what it is or what it means to be a single mom. And in my work also, I work with a lot of single moms, a lot of divorced parents, or people who have never been married, or people who are single moms just because they are widowed, or or raped, so many other reasons that can make anyone a single. And I'm very interested in that topic because this category of people are not really talked about properly or looked after or catered for in our society. You know, when you're a single mom, people tend to look at you like, especially, if you go on the blogs, you see comments, oh, you too now, baby mama, things like that. So, and lives are involved in this conversation. You understand? There is the mom, there's the life of the single mom herself, that tend to feel down, feel judged, feel like, I failed, and then there are children involved that she has to cater for. Children also who become dysfunctional in court, traumatized because, oh, daddy's not here, I don't know, maybe they got divorced, or daddy left mommy because of me, so there's always that stigma, even with the children themselves, the feeling of maybe not being wanted, the feeling of being abandoned, the feeling of not being good enough. And this can spiral into bigger issues in future, even in their own relationships, and their own marriages. So it's a very big deal that I feel like the society needs to concentrate on this, so that, if a marriage goes south or a relationship goes south, the mom, the dad, the children are also properly taken care of. Because if we don't take care of all of these people, they fall back to the society. The children fall back to the society. It affects us whether we like it or not. Maybe one of those children will want to marry your own child tomorrow. Maybe if something happened, they might, be in government. They might be whatever. So it's a very important conversation that we need to be having, as a society. So that is what spurred my interest. You would realize that when, my assistant sent me the message, I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm not even asking, am I, because I'm very, very particular about this topic.
Thank you so much. I am just grateful that you had to give that introduction because, like we always say, a story is best told by the one who lived it or experienced it. So
Yes.
that was just the perfect introduction. All right,
Yeah.
so we will get started in just a matter of seconds. Do stay with us because we have so many things to enlighten you on, educate you about the topic of being a single mom or single parenting as a female in Nigeria. The context now is Nigeria. In other climes, there are things that are obtainable, but here in Nigeria, where culture, the society, people, a lot of things are at play, let's know what to deal with and what not to carry on in our perception or perspective of single parenting. You're listening to Soul Sisters on Smooth 98.1. So it's just an ad break for about 2 minutes, and we are
Okay.
back.
Okay. No problem.
Fans have been overfeeding on drama this season, and DSTV has been serving.
So when we come back, we will get started with some. Okay, I'll probably just read one or two data if the need arises, but we'll
Okay.
get started with. We'll continue with where you have started, which is some common error, or I wouldn't say error now, some common beliefs that have been held about single parenting. Now we have deep classes of a single mom. We've got the one who had no option, the ones who became widowed. So I'd like us to even start by saying single moms are not the ones that say, I want to be a baby mama, because
Yeah.
chances are that once you hear single mom, what comes to your mind is
It's
baby
baby
mama.
mama. Yeah. I get
One
that.
who decided to just walk out of a relationship. And then later on, there was a data I came across, one that was done in Nigeria here, that mentioned a number of factors that are contributing to single parenting: education, more economic power and some other things. So I would ask your thought on that, if you agree with that or not. And later on, we'll even get to the part where there are pockets of people who attempt to trap a man with a pregnancy.
Yeah.
So that as well.
Yeah.
Along.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I'm ready.
6-star judges on channel 198 and go on a journey to the future on Iwaju every weekday this week, plus a 6-episode marathon on Saturday. Enjoy the best of action-packed sports, high-tension local drama, suspense-filled reality TV, and more, all on DSTV. Download my DSTV app or dial *288# to stay connected. On the road, no problem. You can stream anywhere and anytime when you download the DSTV app.
Hello.
Okay.
Listening to the smoothest band on Vegas radio for good quality music. All because of you.
We love music, we love life, we love the sisters, and every Wednesday from 11 till 11:50 or 11:55, we talk about issues that she faces in the society, in her career, in her home, in every aspect, really. That's what we call Soul Sisters. And you're very welcome to join the conversation. I'd say before you even start sending your messages or asking your questions, you want to listen. So we've got different platforms for you to be a part of it. There is WhatsApp, there is a call line, but importantly, we're streaming live on YouTube. That is youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. It allows you to send and share the stream with somebody else, and also to go back to it later on at your convenience. My name is Oluwaseun, and my guest is a healing therapist as well as life coach. She is Lara Kudayisi Don-Momoh. So before now, we gave that introduction about her story, her journey, our interest in this topic, and we want to understand what should come to your mind once you hear single mom, because again, there is the tendency that once you hear single mom, you hear baby mama. Is that true?
Oh, no, not at all. So there are different categories of single moms you get. So there are some people that are widowed. They never planned to be single moms, circumstances and life and brought that on them. Naturally they become a single mom. There is another category of divorced. Something happened, the marriage went south, become a divorcee. There are children involved, become a single mom. There are also some who were raped. There are some people who were raped when they were younger or even older. And this, pregnancy resulted as a result of that, they are single moms. And there are people who had relationship. I've also heard that, they were going to get married, got pregnant and, had the baby and the guy walked away. It wasn't their choice. And there are single moms by choice. The baby mamas that that seem to be also on the rise right now. Like, I beg, I don't want to do the marriage thing. So there are different categories of single moms you get. So, and I think people look at single moms generally derogatorily in this country. Not minding how it happened, not caring how it happened, or, they just feel single moms are irresponsible. And that's not true for a lot of these people, because what do you tell a widow who lost her husband? And she's suddenly, reading with the responsibility of taking care of 3, 5, 7 children by herself. She becomes a single mom too. What do you tell somebody who got married and, the husband started beating her and she has to fled for her life, with her children? So these are all the categories that we have in, when it comes to single moms. So it's not necessarily those ones who like, oh, let me get the bag, let me get pregnant for this celebrity and, let's go from there, or let me do whatever. Those are, they are also single moms. Their children also matter, to be honest, because they are also part of the society, but it's not everyone who tends to be or decides to be like, that's what I'm trying to categorize.
Two categories that occurred to me as I thought about this. One, the people who are in a marriage, but looks like they are the ones carrying all the responsibility on their shoulders.
Yes,
That's one.
true.
And Another that is due to economic reasons, and this is what I mean. There are husbands who relocated out of the country.
Ah, that is another one that true. You are so right, oh,
And I'm thinking that is actually one terrible one, because sometimes
yes,
it is so uncertain when both of you will be
would
reunited.
reunite.
So it's
Yes,
like you are a single mom by, I don't even know.
yes. You know, a lot of that is even arising now because of all this Japa syndrome, you know, and just the other category you also mentioned, there are a lot of people married, a lot of women married, but they are single moms because the husband is not present. He's there, but he's not present. He's not involved financially, emotionally, any ally. He's not interested, you know, in parenting. You get, so that is also, and that's even more painful and more depressing for women like that. You know, so these are the categories, different categories of single that, you know, exist.
So I would like to get your thought on something, and I'll read out the data. So there was a study that was conducted and it was published in January 2021, and it's titled Prevalence Pattern and Social Demographic Correlates of Single Motherhood in Nigeria. So they sampled a number of places. They got about close to 30,000 married and single moms, and data was extracted from the Nigerian Demographic and Health Survey. So according to that study, a number of conclusions that were reached. Number one, in comparison to other places, Nigeria has one of the highest number of single moms in the world. One of them, not so if it means if you have top 10, Nigeria will be there. But then
Wow.
it makes sense considering the number of people we have in Nigeria. But that's not even where I'm going. So a number of factors they said contributed to it. So according to that data, they said that single mothers constituted 9.5% of the population. And contrary to what you would have in other climes, they said there were a lot of single moms that are actually wealthier. There were a lot of moms who are educated and they even experienced less intimate partner violence. So meaning they did not necessarily leave because of violence. So in the north, the number was lower. In the South region, it was the highest.
Oh, wow.
Then they said religion contributed to lowering the odds of being a single mom, and the religion is Islam. So a number of things contributed to the increase in being a single mother. You've got education, you've got wealth, and you've got age, meaning the older you are, the wealthier you are, the more educated you are, you're likely to be a single mom. And I'm asking, do you agree with that? Especially
Oh, no.
kids of experience.
Okay, so I think it still boils down to different factors. So usually in Africa, most of the times, the way we have been raised, men are raised with this, not all men, a lot of men are raised with this domineering personality. You understand? Alpha males. You are the man, you are the head, you know, whether you know what you are doing or not, you are. You get. And women are also raised to be subservient. So, especially in the past. So, growing up, most of our mothers, you know, or mothers of those generations stayed in the marriages, even with domestic violence, with whatever, just because they didn't have money or means to live, one. Also because the stigma was so much back then, you know. So, but nowadays, if you notice, there's a lot of female empowerment. There's a lot of female, you know, education now. Women are now opening eye and all of those things. There's feminism in the play. So right now, what I'm saying is that a lot of women now know that, oh, I don't have to be in an unhappy marriage for the rest of my life. If it's not working, you know, they leave. Why? Because they have the means, they have the wherewithal to raise the children, and especially in a home where the man is not even contributing anything in the first place. You know, it's easier for a woman who is the one shouldering everything, has the money, has the means, you know, to leave and start again. I tell people, I don't give absolutes because not one data is correct for everybody. But Sheung, I can tell you that a lot of women who left their marriages did not leave because it was happy, because they were happy, because the man was doing everything was good. You get what I mean? Most people who leave their marriages left because, it's making them unhappy, is destroying their mental health and a lot of other things. Like when I left my first marriage, I remember my mom was like, "Oh my goodness, you can't." And I told her, I said, "Mommy, you cannot leave a marriage that is hardened to you. You will be stupid of you as a human, as a woman who wants to carry plenty children, even if it's one, and train all by themselves, But you leave because even though he's there, it's as if he's not there. So if I leave, it's still the same. You get? So that data is correct to an extent, to a degree, and there's a lot of pain also in the society from the women, which is what is fueling all these Nigerian, in quotes, bitter feminism, because there's feminism, but there's Nigeria bitter feminism. You see a lot of women on Twitter, male bashing and stuff like that. That one is, yeah, you get. And the reason is because they've been hurt by the men in their lives, their fathers, their husbands, their boyfriends, all of those things. So that again is also a reason while some people would leave their marriages, while some women just want to be by themselves and their children. So that data is correct to an extent. And then some religion also forbids it. You understand? Like if you leave, you're a sinner, you'd go to hell, So people stay, not because they're happy, but because of their high belief system. Like, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to be stigmatized. I don't want my children to carry curses and stuff like that. And these women die happy. And I need to add this. Most of the women who stay in unhappy marriages, go and check them. They die of high blood pressure, terrible diseases, because there's a link between your emotional and mental health to your physical health. So most of the time, those women are forbidden. They are like, their hands are tied. And so they stay. It's not because, they are very religious, they believe in God. No. It's because something is holding them. Belief system is very powerful. Very, very powerful. If you believe that, I don't want to go to hell, I don't want to, then you're just going to stay even in pain, even when that's why they will bring knife to your neck and you still stay because, I think I'm dying for God. You get what I mean? So all these things, but that data, I don't know, I wouldn't say 100%, but it's correct to an extent.
Thank you. So this I'm about to say is pretty much an unrefined thought, and I will say the way it comes to me. So in a marriage or in a relationship, two people are in it. You have the man, you have the woman. You have the father. If you have a child, you have the father, you have the mother. So when she walks out of the relationship or the marriage, why does it have to be the mom living with the child? Why can't she leave the child with the father?
Okay, so there's this, first of all, depending on the ages of the children, number one. Then number two, if a child is like 3 months still breastfeeding, you understand, most of the time, even the court will grant custody to the mom, and then moms have this attachment to their children. I can't leave my children. When you've gone through pregnancy and labor, most moms will tell you, everything I'm doing is for my children. Some people will tell you, I'm in total existence. My total existence is tied towards my children. So you wouldn't want to leave those children with someone that you're not sure of. There are small cases, some, a little percentage, at least some people I know in this country, that the men won custody. Not that the women willingly left the children, but they went to court and the men got custody. So some cases, there are some single fathers who the children live with them. You get what I mean? And then maybe some women too who believe, I don't have the means, I don't have the wherewithal to give these children the kind of life that they currently are having. If I take them away, I'll take them to pain. But I am dying in this marriage. And then they leave the children. They come regularly, different arrangements. But the biggest one, the biggest percentage is the woman who lives with her children, because you just feel some sort of responsibility, to these children. You don't want to leave them with, because depending on also who the man is, even whatever, you leave them with the man, he'll probably remarry or have girlfriends, or maybe you overwork, or it's an emotional thing. I would never also leave my children, so, because I never did anyway. So that's that. As regards that.
I would like to come back to your story later, but I just don't want to lose a point that you just highlighted. Now I think I have a brain freeze and I can't remember it, but it has to do with her life, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman is attached to her child, and she wants the betterment of that child. That's why she took that child. But how do you now raise that child to be, I don't know, the best the child can be? Because knowing fully well that, again, a number of studies have suggested that the better, if you have two parents in the home, it's better for you.
Yes.
In fact, there was one study that was done in Bayelsa State, a Masoma community in Bayelsa. And at the end of that study, they realized that children that came from a single home, be it the father or the mother, they had a negative outcome, from being bullied to the stigma to a number of mental health issues that they had developed over the years. So in other words, once you have just one parent in the home, it will tell on the child at one point or the other. So how do you raise this child well?
So this thing you're saying is very, very true. Why? Because I used to be a single mom. 2, I work with a lot of single moms. 3, I work with a lot of adults now that are raised by single moms. So I understand these issues. To be honest, God did not design Sean for children to be raised by one person, either a dad only or a mom only. It's dysfunctional. God did not design that. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have to leave the father, I would suggest to you that you still allow him, if he is emotionally and mentally fit to take care of the children. Notice that I did not say financially fit, because that is what women want. If he's not paying school fees, he's not doing anything, so I'm going to deny him access. No, don't do that. Because you think you are hurting the man. You are not. You are hurting the children. You are hurting the development of the children. Most men who are raised by single mom, can come out in 2 ways. One, can be very feminine. You understand? They operate a lot from their feminine energy because they are wired to their mom. You understand? And there's no masculine energy. This can cause, that's the men that they call simps. You get, they're simps. Like, women break their hearts. They are the ones who go through a lot of heartbreaks. They're the ones who, they're not developed fully as a masculine man. So that's one. Another one could be the extreme, is a very masculine man who has no emotions. You get what I mean? Like, and so the other feminine man can start looking for his mom, that, or dad or something in women. So it's never balanced if one person takes care of the child. So I would tell you, if you live and the father is still alive, and remember I said emotionally and mentally fit to father these children, allow him, even if he's not bringing a dime. I know it's hurtful. I can tell you, it's very painful. Yes. But just know that you're doing it for God. Don't look at him. Why? Because these children need his input. They need that fatherly input in their lives to develop properly. Then, if he's not willing, because some men are like that, they are just too angry. How dare you walk away? How dare you? And so I'm going to leave you to it. You're going to suffer it for the rest of your life. Okay. Thank you, sir. If that is your case, or the man is dead, introduce a male figure or male figures. And when I say male figures, safe ones. That could be either your brothers, your dad, because I had my own child at a very young age, at 19. So, and she lived with my parents for 11 years. My dad and my mom were really basically her parents. Even though I go home, I'm always home too, from time to time. So I remember my daughter is 21 now. She's 22. And we were having this conversation not too long ago. And she was saying, Mommy, do you know I never missed having a daddy, especially in my younger age, because your dad was my dad. She called my dad, who was her granddad, daddy, for the longest time, And then when she left and came to, and I divorced, my brothers were very present, even till today. Now, of course, I'm remarried and, she has a stepdad, but till today. So that male figure, that authority figure is very, very important in the lives of these children. You may not know it because you are too angry, too whatever, or too busy trying to just survive. So you just want to keep them alive, keep them happy. You're not really paying a lot of attention to their emotional and mental development. These things will come back to affect them in the future, and you in that, on the long run too. Because from my own personal experience, even with my dad being present in my daughter's life, I saw at some point, I think she was in maybe 12, 13, 14, 15 kind of age range, I realized that she had issues with men, male authority. She would always fight with the gate man, it would be a man. It would be a man. She would allow women go easily. And because I'm a therapist, I'm very sensitive and observant. I started realizing that something is wrong. And, and I would ask her, why? She said, it just feels because he's a man, because it's this, or you can't just do all of those things, And these things would, if we didn't check it on time, it would affect relationships. That kind of girl may grow up to be somebody who doesn't, doesn't believe that a man should be the head in a home. We are friends. Why would you? Who are you? You are a human. I'm a human. Do you understand? You can't tell me, and that can cause friction in a home, in a marriage. So I tell people, ask me, like, why would you want to remarry? Why did you remarry? Why you want to go into pain again? Somebody actually put it on my page. Like, if God removed me from pain, how do I want to go and put myself into pain again? And I was laughing. So, of course, you shouldn't put yourself into pain again. Make sure you are looking very well and making the best decisions before you get married. But one of the reasons why I got remarried was for my children. Apart from my own life, my own whatever, but for my children, because children need to see that there's a father and a mother in a home. They deserve growing up in a functional home, because it is going to help their mind. It is going to help their life on the long run, So if you know that the man is not present, is refusing to take responsibility, is angry or whatever, or when he comes around, he tears you down, he tears the children down, because that's another thing. You don't want that kind of man around. Make sure you find a safe male figure. I'm not talking about the one that will go and abuse your children. No. Safe. You are sure, you have tested, you have tried, you are sure that this person is safe around, because they need mentoring. They need mentoring. They need another perspective, not just mommy, mommy, mommy all the time. No matter how disciplined you are, no matter how loving you are, no matter how firm you are, you can never be a father for those children, no matter what you do. So this is, some of the ways that a single mom can raise. And then another point, Sharon, before I let you talk, is that you yourself need to go and heal yourself. You need to go through therapy to drain the pain, the bitterness. Because if you don't heal from this, you would subconsciously pass this down to your children. Either you being, more aggressive towards them, or going to the other extreme, or, talking down on their dad, or, what you don't know when you do, you think, oh, I'm angry, they should know. They are not children. Lara, let me tell them. What you don't know is that you are destroying the male figure in their mind. If you talk down on their dad, if you destroy their daddy's image in their mind, you're destroying the image of men in their mind, and this would affect how they view men. This would affect how they choose relationships. This is the reason why some girls are very harsh towards men, because my daddy was wicked and daddy walked away. My daddy did this. My mommy said my dad did this. Or I saw this myself. So you have to be careful. I know you are angry, which is why you need therapy. I had to go through therapy myself. I had to take my daughter, who was old enough at the time, to go through therapy, because especially if you're divorced or widowed, something died. Somebody died. Something, even if your ex-husband did not die, but that relationship died. The marriage died. The reality of the children died. So you have to mourn that. You have to grieve that, and you have to heal from that, so that you won't be a part of the statistics, because that statistics is that a lot of children raised from single parents are dysfunctional. They turn out to be trans and all the other things. Single moms don't like to hear this, but Sheung, it is very true. Very, very true. Why? Because you're too busy. You're not doing it intentionally. You're not. But a lot of children from single parents, single moms especially, are broken and damaged. When you're broken, when you're damaged, what happens? You're going to take it out on the next person. You're going to become something else. And there's another statistic, I don't know if you're aware of that children who grew up under single dads turn out to be better on the surface than children who grew up under single mom. And I added on the surface to it. Reason, because if you check it, the men are, single dads, most of them are more disciplined. You understand? So they won't allow, the mother will be like, oh, their dad is not here. Let me allow that. Mommy, I want to sleep over. You say, hey, let me allow. Their dad is not, you are now, there's a word for it. I can't remember, but you are doing too much because you are compensating. Yes, you are overcompensating because their dad is not around. So you have that tendency to spoil them. But you see, the single father, most of the time, is the one that would be more disciplined on it, So he will make sure he goes to school, he will make sure he achieves his grades, become better in life, you understand, on the surface. But emotionally, that's where the problem is. That's why I keep adding on the surface. So, but I'll allow you to talk.
I mean, I can't thank you enough for already taking a peek into all the questions I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Very, very lucid and sure, insightful. Thank you. I have a number of messages. I might not take all of them now, but I'll take this one from Otuba Yem Yem on Instagram, who says, it's been 5 years since my ex-wife denied me access to my kids. I have done all I could, but no success. It's hurtful, but I am at the point of giving up. Life is indeed unfair to some of us. Do you have anything to say?
That's so hurtful. I'm so sorry, Otumba. I'm so sorry. But don't ever, first of all, I wouldn't want to start asking questions because everybody has justifications. Like, why did she deny access? We never know because we are not hearing our own side. But sometimes if you can tend to loosen up on some things, because sometimes the reason why single moms deny access, apart from the fact that maybe they are angry or all of those things, is that maybe the father is asking for some unrealistic things. You understand? Like, you're not paying money, or you want them to come and spend the holiday. You are not there for their PTA, but you want some unrealistic things. I tell people, if you are living in marriage, you have to know how to give and take. It's for the children. Don't be too proud. Some man will come and tell you, it has to be on my terms. If I want to, maybe the woman is saying, I would want you to see them supervised. Maybe like God for, they have to come to my house. If they can't come to my house, keep the children. You are not ready. Take whatever you get. Whatever. Because when you miss the period, when you miss the lives, there's a period of these children's life that you miss. You can never get it back. you might reunite with them in future. You say, that's what people say. They will find their father when they are 18 and above. These days, those children don't find their father. And when they do, you will never be close. You understand? That's because you have missed out on their formative years. Take whatever that woman is giving you. Yes, she's troublesome. She's all of that. I know. But you be the bigger person. Whatever terms she's giving to you, it might seem degrading, downgrading. I'm a man. Swallow your ego and look for your children. Find your children. Let them know that you really want them and kill that ego. So if that is all you have done, Otumba, but she's still now restricting access, all you can do is pray and hope, that someday, and don't give up. Keep asking every year. Send her a message every December 31st or January 1. Happy New Year, or every new month. Happy New Year, or how are the children? Have you forgiven me? Don't give up. Don't just say I've given up, I've moved on. So please, because it's your children. Don't, what causes all of these things is that we're too, how can I be talking to that woman? God forbid. Okay. Swallow your ego.
Both are definitely a place of ignorance of what could happen, the greater good or the greater evil that is waiting to happen.
Yep.
But now, speaking of greater evil, there is something I worry for, again, still going back to the children from single moms.
Mm-hmm.
If you find a case where the mom is able to balance everything, where she raised the children single-handedly, maybe one or two, she provided for them, she went out of her way, because, it now means she has to work double or triple, depending on whatever it is. And she was able to balance everything well. And now the children see her as some sort of semi-god.
Yes.
And begin to use her as a yardstick for whoever they have in their life.
Yes, that's another problem.
How do you either prevent that or even break that? Because I don't know if she will see those signs, or if the boys will tell her, Mommy, if any wife I'm bringing to you is not like you, I'm not bringing her.
They won't even tell her, most likely. They won't tell her, most likely. They just have it in their mind. So whatever you need to keep telling your children, I know I'm strong, I know I'm this, but this is not how a woman should be. I tell my daughter all the time. You understand? I know, because, maybe during my birthday or maybe when we're having deep conversations, you just be like, Mommy, I love you. You're so strong. I'll be like, yeah, I am. But that's not how a woman should be. A woman should not always be the provider. It's not in the DNA as created by God. A woman should not be the one, fending for the home and doing all these, maybe school runs, health runs, all of those things. So you need to know that I had to do this because I didn't have a choice. My own situation is peculiar. But please don't be that woman, even though it's easier said than done. Anyways, I tell her that. And also, if you have boys, you need to tell them too, regularly. And then also, I know you don't have a choice, but if you can, relax. Show them that also you are weak. That's another thing. You would hear men say, I've never seen my mom cry. I don't know why she's always crying. But Lara, I don't know why she's always doing this. They tell me all the time. Show your children that you are human. These women cry, but they cry in their closet. They wait for their children to go to bed, you understand? And you have to show your children that you are human. These things are important. And if you know, I don't even know how to say this without some people biting me. But if you can, please remarry. If you know you can. I know it's not convenient for everybody. We all have different reasons. Children need to see a functional. They deserve it. They deserve it. They should see that, oh, daddy does this, daddy does that, daddy does it, and mommy does this. That's why I keep emphasizing on functional. You now don't take them again to another dysfunctional home, from one dysfunctionality to another. That's not what I'm saying. Functional home. So that they see that this is what a woman can do. This is what because see, all this dysfunctionality, all this role switching, it's not favoring us. You know, I know people I see people tell me all the time, you see my page, oh my God, you're so strong, you're this. You don't know what it takes to be me. You don't know when I cry. You don't know when I break down. Sometimes I wish this is not my life. Even though it looks sweet now, you understand, I'm married, I'm smiling on Instagram, but I'm not going to come and post the one that I'm crying or I'm feeling bad about, you know. So there came a time where I didn't have to depend on a man. I gave my children the best. I could afford whatever I wanted, but at what expense? At what expense? At that expense of moving away completely from your feminine energy to your masculinity. That you don't even know, you become a man. You don't even know how to be a woman again. You don't know, you don't even know, I have a club called the Alpha Women Singles Club. And this is what all of them, we had a meeting on Saturday. This is one of the things I want to help them move away from. From all of them just told me on Saturday, I don't know how to be a woman. I'm a man. Is that life? Somebody even told me, a man said he was going to buy me shoes. And I'm like, for what? I have my own money. Why do you want to buy? And he took offense. Of course, he's going to take offense. So, let your children know. Because what you don't know is that you are programming your children by just living, by the way you live. You are programming your children subconsciously. So there's a statistic that says we tend to repeat our parents' mistakes or marriage, except there's an intervention. So most of the time, you see a family where there are a lot of divorced women or single moms. Nigerians, Africans, we are very sentimental, very religious. We'll say it's spiritual. A lot of time, it's not spiritual, it's psychological. What you behold, you become. You see a family that there are a lot of strong women. Yeah, it's a compliment in some climes. But strength is not all there should be. Love, joy, peace, happiness, being taken care of, softness, femininity is part of what God created us with. If we lose that, we are now dysfunctional. We are. So there's not that I'm a strong woman, I'm an independent woman. I raised 5 boys by man, calm down.
Oh, thank you. These things really must be said. But you know what? I have a thought so this is me playing the devil's advocate now and
Okay.
trying to voice some of the thoughts on her mind.
Mm-hmm.
She's a mother of 2, she's a mother of 1, she's a mother of 3. And in a society where the tag after 2, after 3, after 5, and all of that
Mm-hmm.
are quite bold and can diminish or totally shatter a person's esteem,
Mm-hmm.
how does she go through that acceptance and stigma issue where especially if a man has never been married and now he wants to marry someone who has a child or children,
Mm-hmm.
how does she go through that?
So first of all, she has to, that's why I always say therapy, because I'm a therapist. She has to heal. One. Then she has to find her identity and increase her self-confidence. I married after having 2 kids for 2 different men. And not just that, my story is everywhere. My current husband saw all of that, and I still got married. He was married, but his wife died, and they didn't have kids. You get it is how you see yourself that people will see. I had a session yesterday, and the woman kept saying, Coach Lara, nobody wants to have anything to do with a single mom. They just want to sleep with you and leave. That is a wrong belief. Whatever you believe is what will happen to you. How you see, of course, there is stigma. I'm not saying there's no stigma, but how you see yourself, that's why you need help psychologically. Because let me tell you, Sheon, being a single mom can shatter your self-esteem. Being divorced can shatter your self-esteem. Being, a widow or, sudden baby mama can shatter your self-esteem. So, and you choose people based on your self-esteem. You live your life based on your self-esteem. So you even choose friends based on your self-esteem. I used to be like that, where I would think that because I had a child back then, any man who came around me was doing me a favor. which was one of the reasons why I got married to my first husband. I saw every red flag, but I'm like, no, 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 no. It's okay. I don't mind. Because this one, he's never been married. Me, I have a child, sharing nonsense story up and down. So this one still says he wants to marry me or whatever. I will change him. I will do this. I will do that. And I realized eventually that it was just the wrong decision. I was unhappy. I was sad. I was tired. I was just mad. How to do that marriage? So, but by the time I realized who I am, the value I have, and how did that happen? It's therapy. Go to therapy. Nigerians don't like to go to therapy, but please do, for your own life, for your own self. You get back your self-confidence, your self-worth. I began to understand who I am. I began to realize the value that I can even add to somebody else's life. The moment that happens to you, you will see that your friendships will change. The people you attract will change. The men you attract, the women you attract, the kind of jobs you attract will change. So the reason why a lot of single moms have this belief system, or have not even belief system, have these experiences, is because of their self-esteem and their belief system. Nobody wants me. Nobody likes me, because that's actually how you feel about yourself. However you show up is how people will take you. So go for therapy. That's what I would say.
I wish we had more time. Unfortunately,
I wish
it's not a luxury that we can afford right now. I will quickly take some messages while we'll bring this to a close. All right, so I have Wilson who says, good morning, Madam Oluwaseun, and my regards to the guest. Talking about single mom, indeed, society has branded them irresponsible, but I have been enlightened on the different categories there is. There are factors that come into play, and some of these factors are circumstances beyond one's control. So I can divide single mom into two broad categories, the responsible ones and the irresponsible ones. Like the guest said at the introductory aspect, this is a conversation we are to be having more frequently, because at the end of the day, these occurrences has a way of coming back to hit the society, which of course you and I are a part of. So how do we, or the society, or maybe government, best manage the consequences of this phenomenon? Then I have one from Muste who says, usually or traditionally, a widow gets married after her husband's death, especially in the southern parts. The deceased family still saw her and offspring as part of the family. Now, the woman is married to God, as some people say, or focus on kids. We have men who leave and abandon the family, then come back at the adult stage, e.g., during the marriages or when they become successful or popular. Some men too don't want another man to raise their children. They also want to have some control over the ex, even if they're separated. How do you manage? In the past, cougars were discreet. These days, they are opening up. If a foreign woman comes to marry a younger Nigerian man, we say it is for the passport. Can an older Nigerian woman do this? Questions. What about the concept of godfathers? Does it help? Men are now becoming effeminate with all these foreign concepts that describe their trait as toxic and promote a non-traditional family structure. Does this have any effect? Man, I wish we could take your questions.
I do, because she raised very, very salient points. I really do, but maybe when next, some other time.
I'm hoping we get a part 2 of this. I'll take this one from Ted, I believe, from Ikeja. Says, most women deny access to the fathers after separation in order to spite the man. That is reality and fact. My elder brother's wife ran away with his kids when he lost his job and was struggling and denied him access to his children for 8 years till he got a huge government contract. And then she surfaced with the kids, demanding a share of the money. Long story. But thank God he has moved on. He's doing well now and he's able to see his kids from time to time. God bless the lady in the studio for her honesty and sharing wisdom. Austin from Satellite said, good morning. Big thanks to your guest for saying the truth. That it's not really good for children to be raised by a single mother. I'm not referring to the widows, but those baby mamas. There is an Igbo adage that says that a dog trained by a woman has a tendency of stealing eggs.
That one is the extreme one.
That's extreme, please. I mean, we need to have a part 2, Coach Lara.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
I will reach out for us to schedule that, because there are a number of questions we still need to touch on. For instance, we need to talk about how she has to have a life
Yes.
outside the
Very
children.
important. Yeah.
Then I also want us to enlighten on what a man who wants to marry a single mother should know,
Yes.
the
Wow.
things you're getting
There's
into.
a lot to talk
A
about.
lot
Yeah.
to dust. So I'll reach out for another time that we need to continue this conversation.
No
But
problem.
thank you so much for your
Yes.
time.
No problem.
And for people to find you on social media, your handles.
Dear Coach Lara on Instagram. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and YouTube. I'm always on. I always upload stuff on YouTube. Dear Coach Lara, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Lara Kudayisi page. Yes, I think. Yeah, or just go to my website, www.larakudayisiinternational.com. Lara Kudayisi has a Y, though. So that I don't put, it's KUDAYISI international.com. And you can always book a session, ask questions, and we'll always reach back to you.
Muste, that's a strong accusation. You said, did you deliberately do this because Mother's Day is approaching? You'll be surprised that I did not even know. I
That
did
is
not even, because I know
true.
we've had two Mother's Day already, I think. We've had
No,
Mothering Sunday, we've had
Monday, Sunday, yeah, but the American Mother's Day is May. It's really in May.
I did not even know.
Sunday.
I did
Wow.
not.
Oh my
So
goodness.
maybe we would have that towards the Mother's Day again. And just
Mm.
for us to continue
No
this
problem.
conversation, please, it
Yes.
affects everybody. But thank
Yes.
you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Shem. Thank you. Have a great day.
And you too. Well, that's it. Thank you for being a part of the show. Like we mentioned, we'll continue this some other time. So you can go back to rewatch this on YouTube. It is youtube.com/smooth921 FM Lagos. And in a matter of seconds, it will be Casbah on your radio. This is Smooth 98.1, and it has been Soul Sisters. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun.
Hi, this is Jody, and you've got only the best of soul, R&B, funk, and jazz. Right here. It's Smooth
Ooh,
98.1.
that was quite a session. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of the show. Bye. And we are done. Bye, YouTube.